Hi everyone, welcome to the next video from Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. We're going to be doing this gemstone here, and I have again a tutorial from Helen Elliston's Colorist Special Effects book, and I'm going to be doing this heart tutorial. I have done it a few times before. It's a really lovely one, and we'll probably do a plain one, but anyway, I will work through it. Now it is in her first book she doesn't use a specific brand of pencils, so she will just say things like the first colour, for example, is pale flesh, so you just have to almost guess a little bit, which I find is okay, but I know for some people may not be so much so. But after her first book she specifies colours using Prismacolor. So pale flesh, what shall I use? I could use, you see the the beige red. I think I will. I think I use this one. This is my light flesh, well, beige red light flesh pencil from my Polychromos. That's what I'm going to use. Now this is a heart shape in the picture. This isn't a heart shape, but it's so close I thought it might work. But we've got these lines. I think we need to white out the lines. Now I always feel like I'm being a little bit disrespectful to the artist by whiting out their lines, especially as I'm going to be doing something completely different to the shape that has been drawn here. We have done ones that are a similar shape to this, like the very first one, for example. So if you want to preserve this shape and colour in that way, then you can have a look at that first video if you want to, and sort of colour in the sections, as it were. But I just want to do this one and show you, because I particularly like this tutorial. As I said, I've done it a few times before, but I need to now wait for my white to dry. What I'll do is I'll gather my other pencils while it's drying. There we go. So I've got the beige red, as I said. Then we need, it just says pink. And then we go to red. So I'm thinking pink. I think I'm going to use the Pink Madder Lake. It's quite a lightish pink. Then we go to bright red, and then we use a deep red. So I think for my bright red, I'm thinking, because we're going from pink, maybe a pinky red might be better. So I'm thinking maybe the alizarin crimson, and maybe then dark red. And then we also need a black, so I'll grab one of those as well. I think, let me just check. Yep, I think we're there. Okay, so let's start and hope I think it's dry. So our beige red light flesh colour. Now the aim here is to leave a little white gap here and to colour around it, not all the way to the edge. So we're just sort of going to go to here and then go in towards that, yeah, like this, and sort of scumble it a bit. I find a scumbled edge, sort of slightly faded out, helps with the blending. So there is the beginning. And then our pink, which, as I said, I thought I would use the Pink Madder Lake, starts here. So we go right to the edge with the pink, and then slightly try and blend it into the light flesh colour, or beige red as it's now called. I totally agree, better name. Now don't worry if your blending isn't that good at the minute, we'll get there. We'll layer up a bit more and improve that. And there we go, and take it sort of there. Can you see how I'm scumbling that edge? It's quite rough and ready. That is the plan. Now our red. Okay, now the red fills in the rest, but also a little bit extra. So we actually put a bit of red all the way around here. Oops. There. And then we do fill in all this with red. Now I'm not pressing too hard at this stage. I will be darkening it in a second stage. I do tend to do this when I'm colouring items, especially if I'm, you know, not too confident, which I'm not yet. I will be, but I'm just trying to make sure I get it right, if you know what I mean. Get my colours in the right places. So there's our red. And then we need our darker red, or our deep red. Dark red, sorry. And we add that to just part of it. So here, just hit this bit. And down here. And then a little bit. Just, sorry, put my face a bit close to the book. I can see a little bit there as well. So that's our deep red area. Now, it tells you to burnish it all at this point. What I'm going to do instead is go back through my colours. So back to the alizarin crimson, and we can go much darker now. Now you can see how I'm struggling a bit to colour over that white pen. Now remembering that there's pink here at some point. So fade it off at this edge, like that. Then our pink madder lake. Now when you're colouring over the white pen, you may find that you chip the white pen off. It's quite a difficult thing to colour over, I find. Now what some people do instead is they cover all the lines on their page with a what's the word I'm looking for, a white paint across it all. I tried to do that once. It wasn't in a book, fortunately. Back to our beige red to finish this bit. Remember, we still want to leave a little white gap at this point. And yeah, it just covered up the lines. I couldn't see any of them. It was too thick. Right, now we are going to use some black. Okay, so here is our black, and okay, so we add the black along this line here and try and fade it into the red is the instruction. Like that. And a little bit here as well. And then you're supposed to go back over it with the dark red to blend it. So I am just going to sharpen it to do that. There we go. Now, I still feel this isn't burnished enough for my liking, so I'm going to do a little bit more work with my dark red just to try and stop there being quite so much white paper showing through. I realise I've got white pen showing through, that's a whole different issue. If you go at it from different directions, it can help you cover it better. Now the alizarin crimson. Now you don't have to do all these layers, I'm just not happy. This is the Pink Madder Lake, and I know I will be once I finish this. I'm just concentrating a bit more too on getting over the white. That one is very stubborn. Doesn't want the pencil to sit on it at all well. And you probably see the struggle that I'm having with it. Why I find it a difficult thing to do, but you know. And the last one in here, there we go. Okay, now is the time, I think, to add some white pen. Now there are different, I'm going to brush it off a little bit. There are different ways that you can do this. What the I'm just looking where they do. Okay, so the bit here, like that, and here, this one's quite big like that. And this one's actually wide and goes thin, like that. Now there is also a advisory to use a little eraser like this to just erase the end of that one, to sort of fade it a bit there. And now you can, it says put a few dots around here, there. Now what you can do is you can add more dots, like in black or yellows and things like that, or you can put some cracks and things on, like speckles. Like the speckles are the dots or cracks and things, but I'm going to leave it like that. So that is it. What I quite like is, because of our white pen in the middle of there, it almost looks like we've got a little star of beam of light. But it's a complete coincidence. Right, our flowers. What colour should we do our flowers? Well, we could do red, we could do pinkish red. I think we'll go for a carmine actually, because that's quite a good pinky red colour. It's slightly different to what we've done, but not too far away. So I'm going to use the pink carmine for these. I'm going to go quite gently, because what I like to do with a flower of this design is to go a little bit dark on the edge and bring this up a bit to make it look like we've got some separation in our petals, like that. You don't have to do it that way. It's a little bit fiddly on something quite so small, but I just like to play with it a little bit. There we go. So I may have mentioned that I discovered that next term there will be an afternoon a week when me and husband are alone together. We haven't had that situation for a very long time, particularly not on a regular basis, because obviously since he's semi-retired now, he has 2 days off a week, but there's always someone here. So on Mondays one son is here always, and on Fridays everyone was here. But next term, on Mondays one son will still be here, but on Fridays they'll both be out in the afternoon, and they'll probably both leave at about 11:20. So once they're gone, it gives us the opportunity to have a bit of time alone. So that means we can he suggested we go out places or things like that, so that's a really interesting thing. Now that won't be until probably the last week of January because their holidays are quite long, but it's still quite exciting. It sounds a bit rude, you know, I didn't have children to want to not be with them, but they're 19 and we have not had that opportunity, you know, because this is earth green. I'm going to do all the leaves in this and I'm going to see if I need an extra colour. But, you know, they're 19, as I said, and because he always used to take his work holiday in the school holiday so he could be with them, we've just not had that ever. So maybe once or twice, or if he was poorly, yeah, but it doesn't really count, does it? Or whatever, you know, when they were at school. But and maybe on if it was my birthday or his birthday or something. No, his birthday's always in the holidays. It's his summer birthday, lucky thing. Something like that, but not on such a regular basis. So it is rather good. I'm rather looking forward to it. I'm going to darken the bottoms of these leaves a bit. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to grab my white pen and do a few dots on the flowers. I don't really want to do very much with them, but as I've done it on every flower on this page, bar one that was yellow, so it wouldn't have shown up, I feel like I've got to, so I'm just going to put a few at the top. There we go. Right, there we are. I think that is done. Oh, it's a bit squiff, isn't it? Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, there we are. So yes, thank you for watching. I enjoyed that one. I hope that was interesting for you as well. Yes, we've got 2 left. Wow, only 2 left. I'm going to go and have a coffee and then come back and probably record the last 2 because I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. Have a super day and happy colouring.